So Marcel asks, is it true that there is a shortage of Sangha members? If so, how bad is the shortage? uh, uh, Shortage. Um, well, it just took one Buddha to start the whole Buddha Sasana. So by right, just one is enough. But not all Sangha members are Buddha. So we need more. Is it true that there's a shortage? It is true that there is a decline in the number of Sangha members. Yeah. So this is what I've heard from my peers and other monastics from other countries. Yeah. And we're talking about traditional Buddhist countries. Oh, there's a decline. So just because there's a decline, I'm not sure whether it means there's a shortage. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe in the past we have too much Sangha members. So there's a decline. And then after decline, maybe still too much. So may not be a shortage. Or it could be that we have too little, and now there's an increase of Sangha members, but we still need more. So there's a shortage. Yeah. So shortage just means that we don't have enough. Yeah. It doesn't reflect on whether there's an increase or decrease. Yeah. What we observe is that there's a decrease. But is there a shortage? Some people would think that there's a shortage. Yeah. For example, in Singapore, there are actually quite a good number of temples where there is what do you call that? There are temples without resident monks or nuns, for that matter. Yeah. But at the same time, there are also monks and nuns without temple. So maybe what we need to do is match them up. Yeah. I think what we are in shortage of is the atmosphere of cultivation. Yeah. Among the monastic community, we use the term 这个修行的气氛. Yeah, 修行的气氛. Yeah. So, for example, if you go to some countries that used to be predominantly Buddhism, then you find that there are a lot of temples. Yeah, there are a lot of temples. But when you go to visit all the temples, you don't see any monks or nuns. Yeah. Some may say that, oh, they are cultivating behind. Yeah. But some of these temples are basically just tourist attraction. Yeah. So then it's not a healthy sign when temples become tourist attractions, when Buddha images end up in a museum. Yeah, it's not a good sign. Yeah. Is there a shortage of Sangha members? Sangha members exist started, yeah, when the Buddha started to turn the wheel of Dharma, the wheel of truth. Is the most expedient path to enlightenment. Yeah, it's the most expedient path to enlightenment. The fact that there's a decline in Sangha members can mean a few things. It can mean that there are lesser people who is seeking enlightenment. Or it could also mean that there are lesser people who think that the path of the Sangha is more expedient than being a lay person. Yeah. Because there are still people who seek the Dharma, who wish to practice, right? Yeah. But among them, there are those with difficult conditions for ordination. Yeah. Then there are those who don't have difficult conditions but feel that they can practice better as a lay person. Yeah. They don't want to be ordained because they feel that the, the Sangha itself is not conducive. Yeah. This is a fact. Let me clarify. Which part is the fact that there are people who think this way? I'm not saying it's a fact that the Sangha is not conducive. Easy for people to mishear it. I still think that ordaining is more conducive. I still think that being in the Sangha community is more conducive. Yeah. So, but the fact that there's a decline means a few things. So it means either people in general don't think that enlightenment is something they want, or they think that it's not something that is possible anymore, or they think that enlightenment is still possible, but the monastic path is not necessarily the most expedient path. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard people share such thoughts with me. Yeah. So they decide to just practice at home by themselves. Among the Sangha members, this topic come up once in a while. Yeah, quite frequently. Whenever we meet up and then we discuss about Dharma or discuss about the state of Buddhism, this topic actually comes up. And the number one common reason we feel is that lay people who choose to practice at home choose to do so because they want to have freedom. They don't want the restriction of the monastic life. Yeah. Even if you, let's say, ordain and then after some years you stay by yourself, lay people don't want to do that. Yeah, lay people don't do it because there are so-called restrictions. Yeah, the restrictions is like, it's like recently the Tokyo Olympics just ended, right? Yeah. If you compare your lifestyle and the lifestyle of the athletes, who has more freedom? Of course, you all have more freedom, right? Their lifestyle is very different from ordinary people. Maybe you also go swimming, yeah, but you swim when you feel like it. Yeah, they also go swimming, but they have to swim many laps every single day. And they don't just do swimming. They have to jump off the platform, and then the instructor come back. It's not like they just swim. That's useless. They practice the start. You have no idea how many times they do that until it becomes a habit. It becomes a natural response. The moment, the very instant they hear bang, their whole body just jump in. Yeah, and it's a perfect slice into the water. They do that hundreds times, 1,000 times to reach perfection. Those track and field. Yeah, I'm not a sports person, but I somehow, when I was in school, I happened to see some of them train They train the start. Come back. Come back. No, 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 you're not doing it right. You have no idea how many times most people think it's just run fast. No, yeah, it's running fast, but the start is very important. Yeah. And that's just part of it. Yeah, that's just part of it. So if you compare our lifestyle and that of athlete, it's also different. They live a very different lifestyle. And it's not just the running, they have to control their diet. Yeah. So there's a lot of restrictions. But for what purpose? The purpose is because those restrictions help them to achieve their goal. What goal? To be number one. What goal? To be the best possible they can be. The lifestyle where you do when you feel like it never get you to become the best. The lifestyle where you do when you're free, then you do it, you never become the best. Not just athletes, not just athletes. Scientists, we have some of you maybe are scientists, but I know one particular who is a scientist. Yeah, Zhou Ping. Zhou Ping is a scientist. You're going to ask Zhou Ping what is his lifestyle. Yeah, a lot of people like science. Yeah, how many people like to stay in the lab where there's nobody inside a lab except you and your lab partner or the lab technician? Yeah, where sometimes the temperature is very cold and you have to repeat the experiment many, many times. And then you cannot get the results. Yeah. Yeah, everybody like to talk about science. Yeah. Go on YouTube, watch a few clips and then you discuss. Yeah. Everybody want to do simple experiments when they feel like it. When they feel like it, then you think about physics. You talk about chemistry. Yeah, very simple. But that doesn't get you results. Similarly, even in your own field, let's not talk about those really like specialists, right? Because how many human beings are athletes, right? And how many professional athletes? And how many human beings are Olympic athletes? Because even among athletes, those who get to be in Olympics are like cream of the crop, right? And scientists, among those who learn science, only the very, very good become scientists, right? To do research, be it in the academic field or in the private sector. Even scientists in the private sector, in fact, I would think that scientists in the private sector, their life can be even worse than in the academic field. Because academic field, I think hard to compare. But I think in the private field, there may be a different set of pressure involved. But let's put all this very specialist type aside. In each of your own field, yeah, in each of your own field, there are certain restrictions as well, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Like for example, if you are a mother, when you give birth to a child, there are certain restrictions. You cannot sleep properly at night. Can, so I slept very well. then people will say, what kind of mother are you? Yeah, then your baby will suffer lah. Something must suffer. Yeah, something will suffer. So why do mothers wake up in the middle of the night to take care of their child? Nobody said that you must do that. Yeah, you can choose to say, let the baby cry, who cares? Yeah, stupid baby. Yeah, put the baby in a soundproof cot. At night, then close the door, seal it up, switch on aircon, or put some Panadol into the baby powder. Baby will sleep very well, sleep forever. But mothers choose on their own to restrict themselves from just sleeping as much as they want. then this produce healthy babies. Then this gives the baby a sense of care and safety, and they grow up healthy body and mind. It's our choice. It's our choice. What do you want at the end of the day? But not just mothers, even in your own field, respective field, whatever you are doing, right? Be it something very technical, yeah, or something operational, anything you do, yeah, there are certain restrictions. Certain jobs that is operational, you need to be there on time. It's a restriction. You see, every morning when we have our sitting, yeah, some of us will be on the road already. By the time we finish sitting, they are on the road. Isn't that a restriction? It is a restriction. Yeah, nobody is truly free. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's about what is your priority. Yeah, what do you want to achieve? Because we want to continue to be hired, because we want to continue to collect the paycheck. So if we allow ourselves to be restricted, because we want our child to grow up healthy and strong, so we allow ourselves to be restricted. Yeah, to give up certain of our entertainments. Like once you become a mother, for example, a lot of things you used to do, you cannot do because you carry a baby. You want to go and party, cannot. Carry baby, go to Zouk. I think, no, I think you cannot even enter because your baby underage cannot enter pub. Can you imagine the I say mother, I don't mean to be against women, okay? Let's say the father want to go Zouk, but then that night is his turn to take care of baby. Then carry in haversack, seal up, go inside. Sir, is there what is that sound? Oh, nothing. let me in. I'll pay the cover charge. Cannot. In whatever field we want to excel in whatever field we want to perform, not to mention excel. You don't have to excel at work to have restrictions. Even if you do a mediocre work, you have restrictions, right? But to excel, then you impose on yourself even more restrictions, even more expectations and requirements. So it's a misconception, yeah. Or perhaps it's not a misconception. Perhaps it's more that people consciously, knowingly choose this over that, yeah. And that's why I think a lot of lay people choose to practice as a lay person. Now, to be fair, I have already highlighted early on, many times people listen, they only zoom into what they want to hear, and then I have highlighted earlier on, right at the start, there are those who are lay people who don't have the conditions to practice as a monastic. They have difficult conditions that make it difficult for them to ordain as a monastic. I already highlighted that. Then we can't help it. But I already said, then there are those without such difficult conditions. They have all the conditions they want to ordain, but they choose not to ordain this. And then they can come up with 101 reasons why, practicing as a lay person is better. Now it's more of now, the Sangha community, not so conducively, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, it's about that we don't have confidence in the Buddha. We don't have confidence in the practice itself. Monastic code set by the Buddha, why you don't have confidence? Right? So we can say all we want, we can teach Dharma all we want, but I'm not saying that every lay person who teach Dharma don't have confidence. I'm saying if a lay person outrightly say, oh, lay life practice is better, even some monastics say that. This is ridiculous. If you're monastic and you say that, then why are you still monastic? Huh? Unfortunately, there are even some senior from other countries, senior monk from other countries, make such a statement. It's like ridiculous. Yeah. Also, if you ask me, the question of whether there's a shortage, there are a lot of factors involved. Yeah. Oh, but don't be mistaken, okay? I'm not criticizing you all for practicing as a lay person. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody have your own condition. Important thing is don't kid yourself. Don't don't give yourself excuses. I like this, like that, so I cannot ordain. Yeah. Even when I was newly ordained, I heard lay people kind of tell me, oh, like this, like that, that's why they didn't ordain. Like this, like that. So all excuses. Yeah. A lot, and the best is those who learn Dharma. After they never learn Dharma, they cannot come up with beautiful excuses. After they learn Dharma, they come up with Dharma excuses. Then they tell them, 师父,因缘还没到. They tell you, conditions are not right. If they never learn Dharma, then they say, don't know lah, I'm not ready. They tell you more honestly, I'm not ready. Yeah, I still want to enjoy myself, or I still, I'm still not confident enough. But once they learn Dharma, then they come up with Dharma reason. Conditions are not right. So I always ask them, so do you know what are the conditions? I mean, if you say the condition are not right, then you should know what conditions is required, right? Then they give me the dirty look, like, I give you excuse, then you still want to dig further. What's wrong with you, man? Anyway, Mayan asks, morning, Shifu and everyone. If birth or rebirth are suffering, as a Buddhist, should we not enjoy birthday and even wish oneself happy on the day of birthday? On the other hand, should we enhance strong contemplation to triple gems on each birth anniversary? The purpose of birth is to have opportunity to learn the ultimate truth. Shifu, any advice? Well, as a matter of fact, the past few days, different students have come to offer lunch and then also celebrate my birthday. It's not here yet. So they want to do it, okay, celebrate. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, all these years, I've never initiated it. Then you say, Sifu, you talk only, you never initiate. Yeah, you never initiate, then you also never stop them. The fact that they want to celebrate, that's their kind thoughts. Yeah. So should we not celebrate? I personally, if nobody celebrate for me, I'm okay. Yeah. Yeah. But for many people, it's a way of expressing something. There was one day I reflected on this thing about why people celebrate birthday. This is what I think of. Somewhat linked to the Dharma. It is that you are telling the person the fact that you are born, that you appear in this world, has made a difference for me. So I want to celebrate your existence in this world, without which my life would have been a bit different. Maybe not that bad, but it's that much better because you exist. For that, I celebrate your birth. In a way, this reflection is somewhat inspired by the Buddha's teaching. And he said, there's one whose birth brings welfare and benefit for all. Yeah, in this world with its Brahma, Mara, Ashura, with its kings, princes, and so on, there arise a Tathagata, arising in this world. He set forth and declares and turns the wheel of Dharma. He teaches the truth. And then there are those who come in contact with it, and then they attain enlightenment. Yeah. For such a one, their birth is of welfare and benefit for others. Yeah. So while most of us, our existence is not like the Buddha. Yeah, I would say most lah. I don't, because I don't know. Maybe some of you, because hard to say. Maybe some of you is like the Bodhisattva, the Vimalakirti Bodhisattva. Actually, 大佛大菩萨化身. Yeah. So, but for most of us, our birth itself, while not comparable to the Buddha, our birth has benefited others in some ways. Because we are not enlightened, it may not have benefited everybody. It may also have harmed some people in some ways. So while others celebrate our birthday, perhaps on our birthday, we should and we can and we should reflect on how our birth may have hurt others, harm others. And we should then put in a firm resolve that for this point onward, let my birth be more of benefit to others than harm. Like for example, if it's my mother's birthday, I would want to celebrate her birth. Not in the convention sense, oh, I mean, we will still sing happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, you know. Yeah. But for me, it's a different significance because, yeah, without her, first of all, I wouldn't exist, right? I would maybe be born to somebody else. Yeah. Yeah, or maybe born in some other realms. But the fact that she gave birth to me and she didn't just let me die. Because this is a fact, you know, every day there are a lot of newborn child that is just discarded, you know, in this world, even today. But she didn't. And then she clothed me, she take care of me, yeah, and even educate me. Educate not in the sense of send me to school, but teach me about what is right and what is wrong. Teach me about how to be a proper person, to be a good person. Whether I manage to do 100% of what she teach me, that's my problem. That's not her problem. For teaching me everything that she taught, I want to celebrate her birth. Yeah. Similarly, for my sister, even when I was a kid, she had always been a role model for me. Yeah. Even though at that age, sometimes like, you know. But as I grew up, I really start to appreciate her. Yeah. That she really get the most shit from my mother and father. Maybe not so much father. My father was very biased. This is something we all. I'm so glad that my family is the way it is. Because although my father was really very biased, we all know it was just an open fact. But we were okay with it. Yeah, I don't know about the other siblings, but at least I know I'm okay. We joke about it. We kind of make a joke out of it. It was just so ridiculous. And fortunately, she don't abuse it. So it's hard to find someone who is in a position of favor but don't abuse it, you know. Yeah, she never. I don't recall once where she abused her position and like purposely falsely get us into trouble. She don't do such a thing. And that's something that I would want to celebrate her birthday for. Yeah. And there, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, I can go on and on. These two wonderful ladies. And my two other sisters, they have their own qualities also. That's why I always tell my students, the last thing you want to say about me is that I'm a male chauvinist, because I was brought up in a family where I'm faced with so many women. Yeah. The only thing you can fault me for is that I don't treat women the way women like to be treated. That means they are given special treatment. I don't give women special treatment. Because I'm like, you're as capable as I am. Why must I give you special treatment? Like, what's wrong with you? Why must you ask me to do that? You can't you just do that also? You don't know how to do it. I can teach you how to do, but you must do it yourself. Right? Women like people to do things for them, especially guys. They like to, 这个很难做. Then all the guys will go crazy. Come, I do it for you. In the lab, always happen. And whenever I see them, I'm like, idiot. Yeah. But not all women. Not all women. Oh. So birth, conventionally people celebrate. Yeah. Not everybody would celebrate in the same way. Yeah. It's just like folding paper money, right? Yeah. I don't outrightly just go and tell them, don't do this, stupid, a waste of the time. Yeah. I appreciate their effort. Yeah. So there's always two things. One is the intent and one is the method of doing it. Yeah. When people fold paper money, it's an intent of filial piety. But the way they express maybe not so perfect. Similarly, when people celebrate birthday, the intent is kind, the intent is filled with gratitude. Yeah, the way they do it maybe not so ideal. Yeah, I'll cut them some slack. Yeah, because we also don't expect ourselves to meditate 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day. But so then why should we hold a high bar when it comes to birthday? Yeah. So, Xinghui left us. Louis not feeling well. Oh dear. Well, if you are watching this later, hope you are feeling better now. Then you have to work, you have to leave first. Yeah. Also, that's that about the Sangha members at the birth. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, I think these are areas that's food for thought now. Food for thought. Yeah. So with that, put the palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消障生诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖。
have a quiet day ahead.